be talking about The Witcher. Now, The Witcher exists in multimedia, meaning that you may come across The Witcher in a myriad of different forms. You could see the books, which I've only just begun, and are a shockingly easy read. I mean, it's Polish fiction, and yet it feels like each chapter is its own little short story that just happens to be attached via train cart to this next short story. It flows really wonderfully, and as long as you can get around some of the mythological creatures that may be a little bit strange to you, or names that are, of course, Polish, it's truly one of the easiest reads I've come across in quite some time. But there's also the TV show coming out with Henry Cavill in Netflix, and there's also a video game series which has wide acclaim. The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt, up until I think Red Dead Redemption and the announcement of Cyberpunk, was probably the most dense and populated video game. It was, real-time facial hair growth, just oodles and oodles of things to do inside missions. So I thought I'd help explain The Witcher to some of you who maybe aren't as familiar. Maybe you're just a casual fan like I was for quite some time. There's no shame in it. It's not like it's it might be a religion, but you don't have to be firmly initiated in it just yet. You see, the term Witcher does have multiple connotations. It's been the TV show that's coming. Before that, it was video games, and then back in 1993, a Polish author cemented them into fiction as books. Witchers are sort of a strange sort of creature. They're human, and in this world, humanity and mythological creatures, they coincide in the same world. There was sort of a convergence of the magical world and the non-magical, which had man in it, and now it's a much more dangerous existence. Witchers are sort of a bridge between the two, not in that they pass into multiple worlds, but that they are humans that are trained in what could be considered a super boot camp to be very strong, very fast, basically American Ninja Warrior boot camp, and then they are changed through magic and all these different sort of methods of imbuing them, altering their physiology on a physiological level, and teaching them magic as well. And they're equipped with a medallion that connotates the school in which they come from. There's schools of like the griffin, the wolf, the bear, the viper. There's a couple of them. Each school usually specializes in its own thing. Some are better at more ninja-like tactics or assassinations. Some are big, beefy, strong ones, such as the bear. They fight a little bit more brawler style. Geralt of Rivia, or Gary Rivers, as me and a couple of my friends like to refer to him, like my brother, Daniel, one of my co-hosts on the Pop Culture Podcast. He and I call him Gary Rivers because it's just a really dumb way to talk about Geralt of Rivia, who is the main character of the Witcher series. He's a Witcher who has Captain America-level fitness, along with some low-level Doctor Strange-style magic mixed in. It's called signs. Usually they draw a sign in the air, and it can extinguish a flame, push someone, sort of do a Jedi mind trick and make them susceptible to conversation. There's a whole lot there. And the Witcher, their life is a very lonely one. They will travel the world hunting monsters, whether they're mythical or if they're just like a crappy person. And in between those, they walk about and they will just decide, hey, let's go get some coin over in this town, let's go drink over here, let's have some sex here, my next mission could be my last, so whatever. It's a lot like Wolverine minus the memory loss, and a lot of self-loathing going on there, and a impressive amount of leather going on in both Wolverine and the Witchers. But again, due to multiple incarnations, it's not uncommon for people to have sort of a different mental image of what a Witcher should be. I've only just begun reading, and I can already see some of the differences between the two. And the new Witcher series has been very good at clarifying that they're basing it off of the books and not off of the games, even though the games are more likely to be the content that the general audiences have consumed if they do know about it. And another reason to be excited about this show, I know it's on Netflix, which can be hit or miss, but Henry Cavill is involved, and as much as I'm a huge fan of Henry Cavill, he's a phenomenal guy. I'd love to be his best friend, but that's a conversation for another time. His connection to the series is going to bring in a lot of fanboy support and then some, because he is a very likable man, and he's going to bring his loyal fans, like Dwayne Johnson has a huge clan of followers. He's going to do the same and bring them in to this series, and he's been a fan of the series for a while. In interviews, you can see the cast and the director sort of tiptoeing around like, so, tell me, what's it going to be like watching The Witcher? He's going to fight some monsters? Is it going to be political? What's it going to be like? And they're like, oh, well, I can't tell you. And Henry Cavill just immediately steps in. He's like, look, this is the world. This is why people like this character. We've done a very true to the book's recreation of the world and the characters. It's not overtly political. Sometimes you're just killing monsters, and that's completely fine. This is a guy who knows what he would want as a fan and can therefore be involved and say, hey, this is what I would want. And he's not going to... There are times, like with Superman and Justice League, where he gets sort of painted into something and he just has to do it. And I think he's learned a lot about that. And rumor has it that when he took on The Witcher, he basically said, I'm done with Superman for now. You've screwed me over enough. And I want more creative control, because I know this character really well. And this was a intellectual property which allowed him to have control over that, because not only does he just dive in when he's having conversations, but he made it very clear, Henry Cavill, that as a fan, he's very proud of what they've done, and he had his agent bother the director before there was even a script, begging to be good old Gary Rivers, which is impressive and it's positive. And when it came time to actually create the script, they brought him in as an adamant fan, and his knowledge on the topic, which the director also found very entertaining in the book series, to come in and sort of have a bit of sway on it. So he was able to provide some insights and opinions, because he's both the star of the series and the target demographic and people who just enjoy mythology and fantasy. And again, it is a difficult genre to translate, not just fantasy, because a lot of versions of fantasy have their own rules. This is Polish fantasy, and the Polish language it's not a love language, let's just put it that way. So there's going to be some words that get thrown around that are going to throw people through a loop, even if it's just the name of something. Again, I've only read like one book so far, but I can already see some of the differences between the books and the games, like the silver sword. In the games, they have a silver sword for monsters and the steel to hunt men. But if you use a sword on someone, it doesn't matter what type of metal it's made. If they're a man, it's sharp, it's going to kill them. So in the books and in the series, he just has a silver sword. The wolf pendant is also described more as a medallion, and in both the games and the books, and I assume the TV series, it'll sort of jingle, and it's like a spider sense. It detects magic around. So if someone's trying to curse you silently or walking into a trap of magic, it can sometimes be an early warning system. And in the video games, it's a three-dimensional wolf, which I while I was in the military, received that as a gift. I think I did a 24-hour session for someone, took their job for a while, and I was paid in money and Witcher pendant, which sort of got me into the series. It was many years ago. It doesn't really matter. I'm getting off topic, hence the namesake. But in book and now the TV series, from what I've seen in it, it's more of like a medallion. It's three-dimensional, like a coin, but it's not some big jagged shape, which makes sense because I'm going to be honest, the wolf pendant, when I used it as a keychain, stabbed my thighs like the Dickens. It was just unpleasant to have in my pants. I could have phrased that better. Oh well, moving forward. He also likes to be clean-shaven in the books and is clean-shaven in the series, from what I can tell. The Witcher, Gary Rivers goes on a couple times about how he doesn't like the way it makes him feel. It's one of the things he doesn't like about being out in nature for too long. Whereas in the games, the character model looks cooler with a beard. So a lot of people had The Witcher with a beard, and a lot of promotional material, especially for The Witcher 3, had him with a beard. Totally fine. Bearded men look quite handsome from time to time. Look at Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, he went from having a rat tail to having a beautiful Jesus beard and mullet. and then in episode 3 looked fantastic. The beard can truly change people's lives, but The Witcher is not one of those people. And if you do want to look into the book, I've been reading The Last Wish. It's a Witcher series of short stories and so on. It's a fantastic jumping in point for the stuff, and it's less than $8 right now if you get it on like Kindle or through the Android or Apple store. It's very fun. I'm probably going to be reading it on a plane on my honeymoon that I'm going on, well, holy crap, in a day and a half. I enjoy the games and the books. I guess book, because I've only technically been reading the one, but I'm going to move forward in the book series. But it is going to be difficult for them to adapt this dense subject matter into a TV series that can make both book fans and video game fans happy. Adapting things from a book can be difficult. Adapting things from a game rarely goes well. This will technically only be doing one, but I would be almost certain that they're going to make references to the changes in the game. It'd be silly not to. And of course, after Game of Thrones wrapped up with a less than graceful finale, all eyes are on every fantasy franchise that's coming out of the woodwork to replace that incest-shaped hole in the collective heart of humanity as the new go-to water cooler conversation TV show. And while I don't think this will do that, it doesn't have that HBO multi-million-dollar money, I do think if you like fantasy and if you have liked the games or the books, you're probably going to enjoy this. Cavill brings a lot of fun and adventure to his characters. I mean, whether you liked the movies or not, he was very happy about being Superman, very passionate about it. Mission Impossible proved he was great. He's playing Sherlock Holmes in a new movie. I believe it was called The Tudors he was in. He's the man from U.N.C.L.E., for better or for worse. It's not the best Guy Ritchie film, but it is pleasant, and he's just the smarmy, great spy in it. Fun fact, if you like NCIS, Ducky was the original Russian in the original TV series, the man from U.N.C.L.E., who in the movie is played by Armie Hammer. And Where I Go to College has a building named after one of his family members who gave it a lot of money. So I think about Armie Hammer as much as some people who find him far dreamier than me. Again, off topic, I know. Welcome to the topic. And again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter which Witcher is which for you. The new series looks like a great way to hop in, as well as the books, which are really reasonably priced. And the video games, I think the most recent one came out in 2015 or 2016. It's been out for a while, and it's coming out on the Nintendo Switch sometime in like the next year, as of the time of recording this, which means you'll be able to have your Polish fantasy sex while you're on the subway if you want. So be sure that you lower the brightness of your Switch or whatever, or have headphones in. That's going to be an awkward thing to expose the public to, so just be mindful of that. Graphics a little bit downgraded, but you're playing the entire Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on your Switch. That's bananas. I would have loved it if they cel-shaded it like the Zelda games, like Breath of the Wild. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, it's a hell of a time to be alive. You've got this, you've got the games, you got the books, you got this TV show. You've got your Polish fiction fix no matter where you go. And I'm excited about it. So if you want to know more about The Witcher, check out the book, check out the Wikipedia, check out the games, check out cinematic trailers. I mean, the trailer for the Witcher TV show is only really a teaser so far, but there's a lot of fantastic cinematic trailers for the games that I think really will give you the main gist of it. The Lullaby of Woe trailer is probably my favorite because that song is just really haunting and wonderful, and it shows that these Witchers will sometimes drink things that would kill normal people, and it allows them to go in and fight because of their unique physiology. Geralt has his cat eyes that are yellow and piercing, and his white mane, and he just takes the stuff, and it'll enhance him. You see that in the trailer as well. So of him taking something and fighting, something horrifying. It looks like a nightmare spider. And he's just got horribly haunted eyes because he's drank one of the things that he does in order to improve his physique, or to make it where, if a vampire was trying to feed on him, it would be poisoned or at least staggered by trying to take his blood. So the Witcher series is a dense topic. It's interesting, and I think this TV show is going to be really good. Henry Cavill himself has described it as playing through the games again with a brand new skin for the character. It feels very similar, but it's just different just different enough that you can experience it and feel refreshed. So that's, I think, a really good sign. Anyway, this has been an off-topic snippet. I hope you enjoyed it. And if not, well, then I hope it was bad enough that you were still entertained like a bad car wreck. Hopefully no one died watching this. Don't use this while you're going to murder someone. Don't just do that to spite me. Don't play this to do that. Regardless, it's been fun talking. I hope you liked listening. Keep an ear out for more.